Hi, I'm Gary White for Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Pat Shannon, who is the president for the Nelson County United Way. We just had a meeting regarding some restructuring that's going to go on for the United Way of Nelson County. Now tell us, what do you have your meeting about here today?
It was basically just to inform all of the agencies that we deal with that before, up until now, everything was just basically we got the money and we just distributed it, and that was it. And now what we want to do is actually go to where there will be a portion of that go to the community. We'll determine what a community impact would be as far as what people in Nelson County determine is our number one issue. And then we'll just take some of the money to basically address that issue, whether it's a short term or long term. It might be 3 or 5 years, but we will commit to that so that we can actually see
working towards a goal there.
Yes,
right?
To where it's not just going to be here's your money, go figure it out. It's we will help you. We will help get the resources. And
now the United Way of Kentucky actually came and met with the board here in Nelson County, right? And was saying that they were kind of gearing towards doing more of these community impact sources of funding, but you kind of did a hybrid where you decided to do the community impact as well as continue to fund some different organizations as you traditionally have. Is that correct?
Right, because a lot of the agencies or the United Ways in different parts of Kentucky, they basically just went to this all at once, and we just didn't want some of our agencies just to fall away to the side, to where we will still try to do everything we can to meet their needs, but we also need to address the future as far as with the community impact.
So how long have you been involved with United Way?
Probably 4 or 5 years.
And what do you see as the biggest benefit of United Way of Nelson County?
The money stays here, as far as it's basically Nelson County people helping Nelson County people.
I'm here now with Kenny Fogle, who is the Executive Director for the Nelson County United Way. I was just speaking with Mr. Shannon about the meeting that you had here today regarding the potential restructuring of some of the ways that funding goes on here in Nelson County. Can you tell us a little bit more in detail what's going to happen there?
Well, basically, we're going to restructure, but we're also going to try to stay the same. I mean, that's a hard way to phrase that, but primarily United Ways have been a fundraising organization for many years, primarily just looking to fundraise, and that's it. Give the money to somebody else, let them do their thing. Well, what the United Way is trying to do is trying to start maybe making a little more impact in the community ourselves and getting to root causes of problems rather than just say, okay, let's just feed the hungry. Well, let's find out why they're hungry. I mean, let's find out, is there some reason or another that they need help in other ways that maybe they can go out and feed themselves. So it's just the old saying, you can feed somebody for a day, but let them feed themselves for a lifetime, and we're going to try to work on that concept a bit.
So there's going to be a community survey that will be sent out for you to help determine what the community feels are issues that need to be addressed. What are some of the issues that you're hearing about?
Well, you hear about, obviously the first ones people jump out at is child abuse, things of illiteracy. I mean, that's always a big thing for early childhood development. Why is there illiteracy? Why is there a dropout? Why is the dropout rate so high? Well, the dropout rate may be high because they didn't learn how to read and write when they were 3, 5, 6 years old, whatever. So maybe we can go back and look at that and find out what that is. Domestic violence is always a big issue. So there's a lot of issues that you don't run out of issues. I mean, there's a ton of issues. So that's one of the things we're really going to look at the community to try to find out what the community thinks the issues are.
And if you have a specific issue that somebody out there is thinking that they'd like to see the United Way working on, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, they can get in touch with me. Just send me an email. My email is Kenny, KENNY.Fogle, Fogle, @unitedway.org. Or give me a call, 502-348-1891. Our address, we're at 321 South 3rd Street, the Civic Center in Bardstown. But we're going to be hitting everybody as much as we can. Because the United Way does not belong to me or our board of directors or our agencies. It belongs to the people that donate to the United Way. And those are the people we're trying to reach so they can tell us how they want us to best spend their money.
Now, another announcement that you made was that the United Way of Nelson County may be expanding. You're looking to grow into Washington County, into Marion County as well, covering the same areas that we do. Right. So how's that going, and when do you see that possibly being implemented?
Well, I met with Judge Settles over in Washington County and got a good response from Judge Settles, and so we're looking at that. We're meeting with the Marion County Chamber of Commerce in late July. I can't remember the exact date, but we'll be speaking with the Chamber of Commerce. What we're going to try to do there is basically the same thing we're doing here. We're going to solicit people in that area area and tell us, do they want us? Do they want a United Way in that area? Is there people that are involved that want to be involved with the United Way? That's our first step. We're not going to be going in raising money. We're not over there trying to tell somebody how to do something. We want to know, can we help? And if we can come into Washington County, we can come into Marion County, and we can make a difference. And if you want us, we will be there. Obviously, we'll change our name. We won't be the United Way of Nelson County anymore. We can change our name to whatever we'll come up with. But we think we're doing a good job here. We just think the United Way is spread throughout almost the entire state of Kentucky, and there's a little gap right there in the middle, and it's Marion County and Washington County, Spencer County, and we think we could fill that gap.
I'm here with Nikki Rapier, who's going to be the campaign chairperson this year, so raising money for the United Way. Tell us a little about the United Way and why you're involved.
Well, the United Way is a great organization. It's been in Nelson County, I'm guessing, 24, 25 years. I was on the board most of the 90s. Kenny approached me about maybe getting involved again in the campaign, and it does such good work for the people of Nelson County and everybody surrounding us. It's such great agencies. It's locally controlled. It's locally funded. And Kenny Fogle and his board are such hard workers. I just felt like it was something that I need to give back to again after about a 13-year absence.
Great. Now, tell us about the campaign. When is that going to be kicking off? Well,
as they were asking today, it's like everything else. Beggars can't be choosy. We'd take money any time, but usually the traditional kickoff is during the 5K Spirit Walk that we have during the Bourbon Festival. Now, one of the ladies from the Family Resource was asking, and I think her question was, schools start in August, and a lot of times you get new teachers in. I think they would be tickled to death to have anybody, any of your new hires or anything, anytime they want to sign up to donate, because usually it's payroll deduction. They would welcome that, but usually it is in September, and usually the campaign kind of parallel to the NFL football, as they told us today. It's kind of what it started with. Usually it follows September, October, November, but if somebody wanted to make a donation through their payroll department today, I'm sure the United Way of Nelson County would be delighted to accept it.
And the campaign is where you raise the monies to then be distributed among the different agencies.
That's right. The majority of the money for United Way of Nelson County is through payroll deduction. You give however, Salt River, we get paid every 2 weeks, so it comes out 26 times. They try to, but they have to have a campaign so they know how much they think they're going to collect. Then they'll meet in February, try to have an allocations committee to plan on how much money they can give out. So that is kind of what the timetable is. And I think usually about March, they try to let everybody know when they're going to get their money.
And payroll deduction is one of the options, but you can also make a personal donation.
Once again, beggars aren't choosy. They'd be glad to take any kind of donation you want to give, cash, check's probably better for your own IRS records and things like that. It's just the bread and butter over the years has been payroll deduction, but there's so many wonderful individuals who own their businesses who have supported United Way. So Kenny Fogle, I believe, is he's down at the Civic Center. I'm sure if you Google it, his son Matthew's wonderful with the computer. If you Google United Way of Nelson County, they'll give you more information you want. Please, when these people come talk to you, think about it if you're at a business to go ahead and have payroll deduction. But if you're so inclined, any check, anything at all you can give to United Way of Nelson County or any of our wonderful charities or organizations here is always helping Nelson County be a better place to live.
Great. And there's about $200,000 or so that was distributed last year. Do you have a goal for this year?
I don't think we've gotten together yet. I just have kind of got drafted to be the chairman, and we're going to work on that. And of course, the economy seems to be picking up. And once again, you like to set a goal that makes everybody reach, but you hate to have a failure. So you've kind of got to. I would think it'd be a little bit more than that, but until I have my meeting with Kenny and our committee, I'd hate to be speaking for them out of turn.
Okay. Again, Nikki Rapier is going to be the chairperson for the United Way campaign for 2013.
Thank you all very much.